Hello, how are you today? Oh, really? Well, I'm Red, and today I'm going to be reading some r/Today I F'd Up. So, no matter what's happening in your day, it'll get better after this. Okay, let's get into the first story. Today I F'd up by assuming my boyfriend was cheating on me. This happened when we first started dating. His mobile used to ping and light up when someone texted him, and once I saw that someone had texted him with the name Babe and a heart. I didn't think much of it, as I just assumed I hadn't seen it correctly. But over the coming weeks I saw it happen many times. He would get really happy when the person texted and used to smile really big. I started thinking I was being cheated on. The last straw for me was when the person texted, "Love you too." I confronted him about it, and he stared at me for some time before he started laughing. I cried because what the hell? So he calmed me down and explained to me that Babe is his grandmother. Her name is Babe Ruth, and everyone in the family called her Babe. She recently had gotten her first smartphone, and he taught her how to text. So when she texted, it was exciting for him to see her using emojis and stuff. I've never felt so embarrassed in my life. A few months later, he took me to meet her, and I kid you not, for an 85-year-old, Babe is a sport. Seeing her punch a guy square in the jaw for harassing her was a sight. We're best friends now. It's completely logical that you would think that he was cheating seeing that. I'm glad it was so innocent. Okay, here is our next story. Today I F'd up by eating raw potato. Okay, please don't judge my IQ based on this. When I was a kid, I tried out for a basketball team. I wasn't a tall kid, so I asked the coach if there was anything I could do to get taller, and he told me that he used to eat raw potato every day until he reached the height he was comfortable with. Since I was 9 years old, I totally trusted him, so I started to eat a piece of raw potato every day to get taller. It tasted really nasty, but I was determined to grow tall and maybe one day become one of the best basketball players in the world. Some months go by and I lost all interest in basketball, so I stopped eating the raw potato. For some reason, my parents were in this with me, so we were measuring my growth every week. And since I was only 9, I did grow a lot taller when eating the raw potato. At some point, I just stopped eating raw potato and I totally forgot about all of this. Fast forward to Christmas Eve 2020. I'm now 27 years old and celebrating Christmas with my significant other, my soon-to-be in-laws, and my family. We start talking about their height since my significant other and his brothers are all like 1.9 meters, 6'3", tall or taller. For some reason I said, "Ha, you guys must have eaten a lot of raw potato as kids." And my mom just burst out laughing and is almost choking on her food. December 24th, 2020. At 27 years old, I learned that raw potato does not make you tall. Oh my god. That's classic. That's like eating the crust of your toast makes your hair grow curly. Yeah, it doesn't do that. I tried. I have really straight hair. Okay, here's the next story. Today I F'd up by sous videing the baby. A few years ago, when me and my wife's baby was about 5 months old, my wife decided to go out for the evening with her girlfriends. This was the first time she'd gone out since the birth and basically since the pregnancy, so she was really excited and I was happy for her. She was understandably a bit hesitant to leave the baby, but she knew I would take care of him as we'd both gotten really good at doing. After she left, everything started out pretty much the same as always. Our baby was well into weaning at that point and he loved trying new foods, so dinners were always a nice experience, even when a fistful of food would occasionally find its way somewhere across the room. When I went to give him his bath though, everything started to go wrong. The hot water in the house wasn't working when I tried to run the bath. It was working earlier that day, so the problem was very unexpected and very frustrating. I obviously didn't want to give him a cold bath, nor did I want to forget the bath altogether, although perhaps I should have. It was at that point I had what I still consider to be an amazing genius idea. The sous vide machine. For anyone who doesn't know what a sous vide is, it's a kind of cooking machine that you place in a bath of water and it raises the temperature of the water to the exact temperature you want. We had gotten it as a gift several years before, but barely ever used it. So perhaps now was the ideal opportunity. The sous vide came with a plastic water bath that was actually the perfect size for a baby. So I filled it up with cold water and set the temperature to exactly 37.5 degrees C. A few minutes later, the temperature was just right, so I gave him his little pre-wash and then in the sous vide he went. He didn't seem to really notice or care about this new bath of his, and to be honest, the only real difference I noticed was that he was now sploshing water around the kitchen instead of the bathroom. Seeing him in the sous vide was pretty cute though, I thought, so I decided to Snapchat a picture of it to my wife. She saw the picture of it pretty much instantly and replied normally with a bunch of laughing emojis. And that was it. Just a cute little moment, I thought. But apparently not. When my wife got home, she was quite upset. I asked her what was wrong and she said that one of her friends had seen the picture I sent and started freaking out, asking if I was an abuser who tortured her and our kid. At first my wife thought it was a joke, but her friend was far from messing around. After a few minutes, she got pretty hysterical and demanded that my wife speak to the police or a social worker or anyone who could help. Eventually, my wife just left crying. So I thought the whole thing was completely bizarre. My wife's friend eventually calmed down, and the two of them are still friends. Apparently, she still occasionally asks if I'm a sadistic psychopath though. Whenever me and her see each other, I can always sense the cold, disapproving look in her eye too, like she's a private detective trying to suss me out. I've grown to find it pretty funny over the years, actually. Still, if she ever comes over for dinner, I think the sous vide should probably stay in the cupboard. It's pretty ingenious, actually, to use the sous vide to give the baby a bath. I mean, if you're not using it for cooking... Guess what? Here's another story. Today I effed up by almost killing my dad with popcorn. My dad has been through a serious COVID case and is now recovering. He has problems with breathing and we live in quite a small house. I was making some microwave popcorn and on the packaging it said put it in for around 2 to 3 minutes on 800 watt power. So I put the popcorn in, set the timer and waited. When the popcorn was ready I took it out and it seemed like it wasn't quite ready because there wasn't much popcorn in the bag. So I put it back for around a minute. When I took it out again, a lot of smoke came out of the microwave. I burnt the popcorn. Remember when I said we live in quite a small house? There was so much smoke that it was really hard to breathe, even for me, and I'm healthy and don't have problems with breathing. So the smoke got in the other room where my dad was and he couldn't breathe. I had to open all the windows in my house so my dad could get some fresh air. He was sitting by the window for maybe 10 minutes. We were even considering calling an ambulance because it was so bad. Burnt popcorn is the worst. My husband recently did this because you know, you pop the popcorn in the microwave properly, and then there's a few that didn't pop at the bottom of the bag, so whatever, you know. But he decided that it was a good idea to collect all of those, put them back in the bag, and put them back in the microwave. It was not a good idea, let me tell you, and we live in a small apartment. I hope you guys all enjoyed those r/today I effed up stories. Read by me, Red. Thanks so much for watching today, guys. Don't forget to give the video a like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!